Record, and there we go. Mind you, we've been broadcasting already, but so welcome back everybody to this iSigma Live podcast. I'm joined with Sean Gertsch. Am I saying that correctly?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have asked you before. Sometimes
Nope,
I stumble over names a little bit. So thanks for joining us this morning, Sean.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, show floor just opened, so you're already a little bit busy.
Yeah. It's starting to get busy here and getting some people in, taking a look around and seeing what new things are out there in the industry.
It's really cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. My name's Sean Gertsch. I'm a regional sales manager for Harris American. Might be a newer name for some of those in the industry, as last year we merged 3 of baler manufacturers to form Harris American. Formerly, it was American Baler. An American Baler company had been around since 1945, so a very long-standing company, and brought 3 long-standing companies together. I think we're over 300 years of combined experience manufacturing equipment. So yeah, definitely.
So talk to me a little bit about the equipment that you make.
Yeah. So we manufacture horizontal recycling balers. So the balers you're going to use for that shredded paper is what we're manufacturing. So fully automatic, you can automatically feed them with a conveyor or air system typically. So usually in this industry, you're feeding with a conveyor from your shred trucks or from your plant-based shredder, goes into the equipment, and it's going to automatically cycle, compress that material down into a compactable form, and then automatically tie the wires around it.
So being the idiot in the room now, so I go back a bit. I used to have a paper shredder, but I'm talking back in my 20s. So
okay.
See, this is a long time ago. And we didn't bale on site at that point, largely because of the room. Mm-hmm. Because going back in 1990 something, I think, early. It was the baling machines were huge. Tell me a little bit about that now. Is that dynamic changed a bit?
No, most of the fully automatic ones are going to still be larger.
Still be big.
You're in that like 20 foot by 8 foot, footprint that you need for the equipment. So still going to be larger. So it is, like you said, if you're not plant-based or if you just have shred trucks, it is that investment of space and not just the cost of it as well.
Yeah. So because that was always one of my things was, but there must be advantages to doing this. If you can make the space, what would be the typical advantages for an operator?
So for the operator, it's having that cost control. You're not having to pay someone else to dump somewhere your shred trucks, and allows you to have that increased capacity for more throughput, and then control of that cost for the baled product. So you're going to get more dollar for the baled material than you are for dropping loose at a recycler.
Does it put a little bit more responsibility on you for the quality of the bales?
Exactly. And that's where we come in with that as well. So our equipment is automatic and sets up that consistency. So you're getting a consistent length and weight of that product as well every time. So that's helping you there.
Yeah. Because again, there was another thing. I always thought the quality of the paper is going to dictate
exactly.
The
So yes, you're trying to make sure you're getting better mix of your material, so you're getting that higher quality look of it as well, and the weight. Yeah. What
would be? If you have people come to the show now, there may be people who have not really ever thought about baling themselves. Mm-hmm. So what would you talk to them about to help them get comfortable with the fact? I mean, because obviously there's just as you say, we briefly talk about space and the equipment, but you also this safety and things like that.
Exactly, so as well.
Talk me through, like if I would come into you and saying, hey,
yep.
I'm thinking about this. What would you tell me?
Yeah. So the nice thing is that we do a couple different things. So we'll train you very well on the equipment. We meet or exceed all the safety standards within the industry for ANSI and OSHA, et cetera. And we work well with the integrated equipment for the conveyor, the shredder, so that things are very safe. So when you're shutting one down, you're shutting them all down for safety. And so they're trained by our employees, and then we have a network of dealers throughout the United States, and they'll be able to be there to service and maintain the equipment. If your employees weren't, great with the maintenance, they could be on a regular PM plan to preventively maintenance the equipment on a regular basis.
Yeah, so you do the training. So if you have an on-site technician,
correct? Yeah. So that on-site technician's typically there for 2 full days to train, walk through how to safely operate the equipment, as well as do that day-to-day maintenance. And if you got a great maintenance team, we're going through that more in-depth quarterly, annual maintenance and what like that, things like that.
That can make a difference because and having the network around the country really sounds like it helps.
And even some of the best maintenance crews are still going to get stumped by the hard technical stuff that we either bring in our authorized dealer in for, or they're bringing it in us as the manufacturer, as the OEM.
I had one of those big vertical pick machines. And we trained all our maintenance crew on it, but there were things sometimes when that thing would get stuck, and we really did need to rely on the dealer. So having somebody local who we could call and get them in, because once it was any equipment's operational, it's now costing money.
Yep, everything's costing you money. It's costing you money to have the electricity go into it as well. So we try and be there with some of those. Again, it's a little bit salesy, but some cost saving things where a lot of our equipment, like let's say you're unloading another truck or you're loading bins up and the machine's just waiting on material because you're in between trucks or in between shreds. The machine will shut itself off and just be in a waiting state and not using the motors, which are more costly to operate. So that's one cost savings thing there. And then the other thing that we do very differently than a lot of our competitors in the space, the way we tie off our wire, we go across and pull versus pushing. So think about.
So you're gonna have to explain that to me.
So when you're automatically tying that wire off on the bale, the tying assembly sends needles. We call them needles.
Okay.
They look just like a crochet hook on the end.
Okay.
They go across and then pull the wire and grab it. So think. We're right in San Diego here, pushing rope across the deck of a ship or pulling it across the deck of a ship. I want to pull it. Okay. I want that control of pulling the rope across to me, and then we tie it off. And so with that and that consistent, reliable tie, reduce downtime, and also the way we tie helps to use less wire. So and things like that are cost savings for the as a business. If you're having more consistent, reliable ties. And if they're using less wire on because you're put for two things, the tie is a little shorter, and also if I'm putting more paper in every bale because they're heavier and dense, I'm putting less wire around them on all my bales. If I can get average weights up higher than the competitor, you're making less bales, making less ties.
That's where that compression comes in as well that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. And then you've got a good dense product to sell to a recycler or sell to a broker, however you're gonna get rid of your baled material.
Yeah. So you mentioned cost a few times because obviously there's the cost into this, but where does it become a no-brainer? If I were a small operator starting out, maybe I've got one shred truck. I'm not sure. Does this make sense?
That's where it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so
it's when you're into that of the product. If you're in that 100 tons a month, that's when it's going to really start to make sense of like, okay. My tipping fees are starting to outweigh some of my operational costs. So when you're in that 100 to 200 tons a month of material.
Yeah. The other thing for your customers, from a customer experience, do you feel that there's I'm trying to think around the compliance aspect, for them to know that you took it end to end, things didn't go off. Is that something that becomes a good selling point to your customers? Definitely.
Especially when that's something you're selling as yourself in the industry, is your compliance and your security from end to end from the customer, from the time it's picked up in a bin and shredded on site and then brought back to our facility. It's in our control the whole time. That's a great way to.
Yeah. So because we talked to a few people in these podcasts. Compliance is really becoming more and more a critical factor around any part of information destruction.
Definitely. And then it's one of those things too. It's just, knowing that, the company that they're partnering with to do their shredding is taking it from the paper at their site to the baled product, going out to a mill is a great selling feature for sure.
So I'm going back to my old days now again. Get the gray hair comes through. But one of the biggest challenges back when I was doing this again, long time ago, was around the price of paper and the reselling of it. How has that changed just for my education?
Same thing. The price does have a big impact. Right now, it is down, over the last couple of years, so it's probably at one of the lower points it's been recently. But the nice thing with that as well is that if you have the space and you're able to store a truck or two of material, you can kind of wait and see. Hey, we know it's going up next month. you can hold that, sell it next month.
I never thought about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of currency at that point. You wanna get the
Exactly.
currency
It's holding on to the
exchange.
gold until the price comes back up. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was always, that was always the problem. Is I didn't have enough place to store it, so we had to move it, and we were really at the whim of the market.
That's definitely it too. And the nice thing with that as well is if you do have, lack of space, and you can't even store you can have a truck parked where you're storing those completed bales. So it really is a quick turn, and it's never becoming a hog of your space in your facility when you're able to bale and then go right onto a truck with your completed material.
A truck. So tell me a bit, how did you get into this? What was your background for getting here?
So my background has been all over the place in sales after college, and then was kind of in between jobs at a point from kind of selling like software for a little while, and just kind of wanted to get back into work. I'd worked for a manufacturer right out of college, and was like, I really liked doing that. So worked for an equipment dealer for a year, and then have been working for Harris American, formerly American Baler, for 8 years now.
8 years now.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
you must have an interest in the kind of the process and the machinery stuff as well.
Definitely, yeah. So my brain kind of works that way. I have a biology degree, from school. So that analytics, that how things work, the root cause of things, kind of figuring things out, goes a long way. And even as what we've just talked about, the thing I like most about this is you're helping a customer solve a problem. You're helping, especially in this industry, you're helping small business owners be successful and take control of their own destiny, more so than, again, like you said, if you're dropping and being charged whatever you're being charged at a recycler versus taking that ownership on yourself, helps them, really impact their business and their bottom line, especially.
It sounds to me as well. It's like you're not really. You described yourself at the very beginning as in sales.
Yep.
But really, it's like a consultancy, because you can't force somebody to buy a baler where there's not the economics don't work for the business. I mean, but you can educate. You can have them ready so that people know, hey, when I get to this size, then I can call you in, and maybe we can have a chat at that point.
Exactly. And that's what we really pride ourselves on, as well as all of our equipment dealers, is that they're very solutions focused. They're not going to sell you a Cadillac when you just need a Ford. And because it's going to be a relationship. I mean, a lot of our equipment is there for 15 years plus. I talk to people all the time. Oh yeah, I'm still using that baler I bought in 2005. It's still doing well. Like, you guys come in and do the maintenance inspections every 6 months, and just keeps on running. And
But you raised an interesting point, because using the car analogy. But sometimes you might start out with a smaller baler, and as your business grows, so do you have kind of trade-ins? Can I trade up and get a bigger baler over time?
Yeah, exactly. Our dealers do a great job with that, of doing trade-ins, and just kind of like you would do with a car. You refresh her, you put new parts on it or something, then they resell it to somebody that's on that other end that's just starting up. So used as a great option for someone just getting started out. Like, hey, I'm not there for new price point, but I could do something used or rebuilt, and we offer that as well, because we know that's how they're going to be successful, and they're going to come back and buy that new larger one or faster one when they need it.
So that gives everybody a nice kind of up ramp in, because I always think the big capital purchases can be a little bit scary.
It definitely is. Yeah, especially now with where interest rates are, and with just uncertainty, like we said, the paper's down, or the industry's kind of consolidating, things like that. But it allows you to, if I can be here with my price point, can make something work for you.
Which is really so. If somebody was coming over to see you in the show floor now, or couldn't get to see you, I should say, on the show floor, and you wanted to leave them with one tip, something they should be thinking about, that's really important in the industry today, what would that be?
I mean, for us, it's that we're here as a solution for you, no matter what the size of your business is and where it is in its lifespan. We've been around for a long time and are going to continue to do so. And I think, like you kind of talked about earlier, is we're very solutions and easy to work with. That's what we always try and tell people.
Fantastic. So you're here on the show. So anybody walking around, they can come and see you. The people who are not here and maybe watching this on the YouTube channel live, or will pick up a podcast later, how would they get hold of you?
You can get a hold of us on our website at harrisamericanco.com.
harrisamericanco.com. Sean, thank you so much for joining me. I got a great education there. I'm way behind on this part of the industry. So it was a great learning for me.
No problem. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Take care and have a great show.